think we're good. Are we good? Very hard to tell. I had some mic problems. I, oh, let me move it. Hold on, is this working? Listen. Alright, how we doing? Barely hearable? Barely hearable? I can't seem to hear. Alright. That's not good. Is that better? No. That's not ideal. Anything at all. What the fuck? It says it's picking up. I'm so confused. Earbuds just not working? Hello? Wait. 1 second. This shit not working? No, it's working. I don't. All right. The thing is, I don't know if the audio is actually working, which is why I have to keep testing this. I think it's just this PC's not working right now. Hold on. What is happening? All right. I think it's working. I can't fucking tell. I'm sorry. You might have a mute stream. It's really fucking hot in here. Anyway. We got the Raptor to work on. Where did my pen go? There it is. Found it. Found it. We got a Raptor to work on. I'm hoping we can get it done. We're a little late because I had to mess with all that fucking shit. Sorry about that. And we have some news about the watch that we've been talking about having to send in. So I did send it in. Obviously, we got it back. And I am confused as hell because they... Hold on. All right. Let's talk about it real quick. They said they couldn't replace... Oh my god, the fucking thing is not working. They said they couldn't replace the dial, or they couldn't replace the 4-hour marker, which this is apparently the original dial. They did send it to me after I asked them if they could send it to me since it's broken. I'd like to put it in a display, which is what I'm doing. So they sent it back. I have it on a strap instead of the bracelet. I've worn it on since I got it, so like 6 years or something. But it begs the question, why didn't they just fucking repair it and put it back in then? I don't understand. It should have, I guess, all I can think is that repair was covered by warranty, but a dial replacement wasn't, so I had to pay for the dial replacement. And so like the rep who analyzed that was like, no, you can't have it, and yes, we have to replace it. And then the guy who fixed it probably read my comment asking if, that was the case, if I can just have the old one. And it was probably like, Jesus Christ, what? This is so fucking dumb. But yeah, I'll just send it to him, and I'll fix it too, because it would have been easier to fix. Anyway, they fixed it. My original thought was maybe they couldn't fix it because like there was just no feet left on there, or like the hole had somehow bored too big and they couldn't. I don't know. They couldn't do it without damaging the dial was my thought process. But clearly they could, because I think, I don't know, he might have just put the original dial back in and gave me a new dial for no reason. I don't fucking know. But whatever. I got it back. It's my favorite watch. We have the matching carry, right? All blue and white. Um, it's still my favorite watch. What do you guys think of on Strappy? We good, or should I go back to bracelet? I don't know. There's something about wearing the bracelet that it came on that just kind of feels right. But I don't know. The strap is cool too. I feel like it's a good like accent. But yeah, here is apparently the original dial. I don't know. I don't know which dial is which, unfortunately, because they fixed it so well. So I don't know why they didn't just fucking send like fix it to begin with. I don't know. All I can think is, like I said, the rep must have been like, "Hey, we're gonna do this because he has to pay for this." Anyway, I'm gonna try to change some things on the Raptor. I'm also probably about to sneeze, maybe. But I'm gonna try and like do some cutouts to maybe make these look less blocky. And hopefully this works. I do have concerns because it's like pretty heavily color mixed at this point. See, that's too big, but that's a good experiment. But I'm planning to not spend too much time on it. I think the problem with doing this is trying to keep it a generally solid look is going to be really difficult. Um, but yeah, I'm going to try and make like these spots where hopefully it feels a bit like the feathers just not as solid there. The problem is it's very solid, right? So I'm gonna maybe try and like fill some spot in with like a different little layer. I don't know. Like the way I did it worked for like layered feathers, but I don't feel like it works for natural feathers, if that makes any sort of sense whatsoever. Um, but like there shouldn't really be holes here, but like I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. Hello? I always forget that that shit resets for no reason whatsoever. What I might try to do real quick, actually. Can I... Can I zoom in? Can we do that? No. Okay, can we do this? We can. And then... instead of what I just copied, what if we take that? But yeah, the goal here is to hopefully fix some things up. I do have a couple of things I do want to add. And then I'm thinking we might have Arby's, you know? Every time it always happens. It turns into that. Uh I'm thinking we might be done is where that was actually going. Um I feel like there's things I could do that aren't going to make a big enough difference that I'll be happy with it. So I don't know that it makes any sort of sense to do them because it's just like not really going to have a positive impact. Try and make it look like maybe there's something back there. What do we think? I'm not I'm not really feeling the difference that's making, but it's fine. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's just mix a little bit of that in there. I don't know why, but like my hand is kind of cramping, probably because I haven't really been drawing lately. Um, so we'll do a little mixo dicko here. Try and grab that. Actually, no, sorry. This color goes here. And then this one kind of comes in like that. They just so happen to both have very similar spots. I don't know, maybe they got struck there and it went right through, you know? I think part of the problem with my background here is it's very white, and that's going to make it hard to show detail in the back. That is way too much, but if I go like super small, there we go. I don't know, I feel like it's not having the effect I was hoping it would have. You know, we're like barely into it, so let's relax. But yeah, on that watch thing, I really don't understand it. I'm trying to figure it out. All I can think is like the service rep and the service tech had two different opinions. One was like, "Nah, just fucking do the thing for him. Like, well, just it's fine. I can just fix it. It's warranted. It's no problem. He'll love us for it." And then the rep is probably like, "No, though, we got to make the monies." So you know, you have one who just wants to do the job for the love of the game and because he's passionate about probably the watches, and then the other dude's like, no, we got to make money. And suddenly my watch is sitting there and somebody's doing something to it. And I'm guessing, like I said, the tech was just like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, for example, I put like, please don't polish the case on it. I didn't send my bracelet in because last time they polished everything and the bracelet doesn't fit right anymore. I mean, it fits fine, but it's like not as like tight as before, but also like tighter somehow. I don't know how they did it, but whatever. Anyway, it's you know what? I think what it might be is because the bracelet's not as tight, it goes further up my wrist and therefore ends up feeling tighter instead of sitting like exactly where it used to sit. But yeah, I don't know what the hell bro was thinking, but that's really all I can think. Like they had a disagreement and the tech was just like, this is so dumb. I'm going to go ahead and fucking fix it and send them both because there's really no reason we couldn't. Um, oh, we're on the wrong layer. Was this on Deets? I think this was on Deets. Let's hit this. We're just gonna try and square it up the best we can. Maybe I should do this last actually, because there's quite a bit more I think I want to do, but like it doesn't seem to be going as well as I had hoped. So I wouldn't be opposed to this maybe being like the last thing that I like maybe just feel like doesn't matter as much. How is this fucking migrating? Anyway, I have it in this watch dial holder. If you guys know of like a frame thing I can do that has like foam in it maybe, so I can keep it, let me know. Because I'd like to do that. I mean, this is kind of good enough, but the problem is this opens easily, and I don't really want something that opens easily. All right, let's go ahead and let's try and do the chain thing first. Well, not first at this point. Um, but let's try and do like this chain and necklace situation. I feel like this is gonna be harder than like editing the feathers some more, so I should probably work on this now before I get upsetty spaghetti about it. All right, so let's get it going. get it started in here. Can't really even see this. Okay, so that kind of like comes up and through. I don't feel like I'd actually see this part. I feel like this is looking too weirdly flat, but like I'm hoping it's a trust the process situation where I just have to keep going until it transforms into how I'm thinking it's supposed to look. Because I really don't know. I don't know. You know what? This don't look right to me. I'm undoing it. I think this is right. So this should be fine. I think I just need to like find a way around it. I don't know how to put it. I don't think I can do it. Let's um let's clear the fucking board. There's way too many colors here. Uh so if I go like that, the thing is it's not supposed to be hanging off like that, is it? What if hold on. What if we're just already too far over? What if I start it from like here? And then like the play is more like that and like that. And we can't really even see that over there. And instead, whatever the fuck this thing is supposed to be, we'll just like, you know? Actually, you know what I think would be better is if we, what am I doing? It would be easier to just undo it. If we come up off the neck a little bit so that it's not as flat. So now it's like before it kind of felt like it was part of the neck. Now it's something else entirely. I think that's the way we need to go. Um, so now we want to grab this color back. Right. And like I said before, we wouldn't really see any of the other side. I wish I had her thing up on my other screen, but I'm too fucking lazy and I don't want to search for it right now. Okay. All right. So now let's try and fumigate. Okay. It's kind of coming out a little better than nothing really, actually. Okay. I kind of forgot that it was going to do that because there's just too much. The other color is also like in the background here. Yeah, it's kind of weird looking, but you know what? I think it's our best iteration of it so far, so I think we stick with that. Now we have these things to deal with. Okay. think I ended up on the wrong color there, so let's just go right back. Okay. A little lighter than the other one, but that should be okay. I should just be able to, like, make up for most of it. Do 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 do. Okay. All right, not too bad. Doesn't feel quite as 3D as I was hoping, but I think it's gonna have to do. Maybe I can put something at the base of it to, like, really sell it. I don't think so though, because it's very dark there. Oh, maybe this will work. Okay. So we got that. I think we'll just hang a chain off of it, but I don't know about doing a chain down. How does hers go? Okay, so solid. Solid. I think I've got it backwards here. I don't know that that really matters, but I'm going to change it. So in theory, this should look like this for me. And then like that. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, okay. So let's try and get these done. Really just zoomed the fuck in there, didn't I? This is gonna be such a massive pain in the ass to draw more than this. This is insane. This is probably not getting done today after all. Jesus. I did not realize how long it was gonna take me to do this. Unless I stop caring, which I may have already done. It's so small. All right, how many spots was I planning? I wasn't really planning on doing like the bra strap thing. I was thinking about doing one around the arms, but that's gonna be really rough. And the belt, and that's also gonna be crazy because of how thick that is. Maybe just the leg? Because it's skinny? And it kind of only goes up to the knee? Oh, but she has it on both. What if I just do this thing on, that would be her right leg, so this one. So it should be quite visible. We'll see what we can do. So she has it up on her thigh, right? Seems like a terrible place. It would really limit your mobility, but whatever. Not mine. Damn it, it's got fucking spikes on it. Okay. I don't think there's any way I can do this without it fucking up the shape. Maybe if I do it up here, which is not quite where it was, but I think is maybe our only shot at making it feel kind of okay. So we're taking, well, I think we've already taken some creative liberties, so we're doing it again. When we're done with the Raptor thing, we do have our friend Atlas's thing to work on. I still don't really know what he wanted. Uh, I because I was drawing a person as a raptor, I feel like maybe they wanted to be drawn as a dinosaur or like as the creature that they are, which apparently is an owl person. But like, they didn't say. And then, sorry. And then, you know, drawing them as a dinosaur doesn't make sense because they did say that they're an owl person or whatever. And I don't really think that matters if we're talking about uh drawing them as a dinosaur. I wouldn't really need the information there. Like that doesn't really matter, you know? So it begs the question, what did they want? And will they get it? Probably not. Feel like that's a little too much of the angle I don't want there. Okay. Let me get a little bit of that going, shall we? Not really a huge fan of how that looks, but not sure I can do anything about it. Wait. Hmm. How long has this person had this like model? I was looking at this because I was about to draw it, and then I went back a second to look at the one I just drew, and I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense, right? Because I was like, oh, okay, so one of these is in a belt loop because this feels like spaced so that it's like hole, probably a hole, right? Like it gives off that impression of space, but then like I guess there's holes all the way around it. And then this hole is tied in or like screwed into the back of the buckle or into the end of the loop, I guess, even though it's buckled. This doesn't really make sense. Typically, something like this would probably be riveted, and they almost certainly wouldn't have that there or that there. Because then, how did this get through here? Unless these screw on and through. But that's like hugely inconvenient. And in my experience, fashion, while often hugely inconvenient, usually is convenient enough that you're probably not screwing in singular little things as like the final touches. Um, so this doesn't make any sense. This is honestly what I would expect AI to come up with. Like you put, oh, I want a belt with a collar with spikes and a belt, and then the same thing on a leg. And I feel like AI would slap this out, which is probably, I mean, I'm assuming this predates AI that would be capable of this. I don't really know how long they've had their model. So it's not like an accusation. I'm assuming that what happened was an artist probably had just maybe the belt, and then the the client was like, "Well, can you put spikes there, even though it's gonna stab your leg if you walk?" This is my assumption. And then the person, who it's of again is like, "Yeah, I would really like those spikes there," and then the artist is like, "Okay." And so they just drew them in, and the holes that were already in it made for a good template. So they're just like, all right, well, I'll make it symmetrical, hole, there, and not too symmetrical. So we'll put one a little further back. But I think this right here is just this flipped, and then like not as far out. That's my guess. Whether or not it is, I guess I suppose I don't know. Maybe I'm being too generous. I'm assuming that it wouldn't be AI. So I just assume it was like an artist's decision to not do too much extra work when they thought it wasn't going to work. That's all I can think. And then they maybe forgot to get rid of like the belt loops or something. Because otherwise, like I said, it doesn't really make a whole hell of a lot of sense. So we give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know why I said it so dramatically, but we did. And I'll fucking do it again. I don't know where this like purpley gray thing came from. I thought I'd try it, but I don't know, it's more like a pinky gray actually. But yeah, I thought I'd try it, and I'm not liking that, so fuck it. Did I somehow end up back on it? Like, what is happening? I guess not. Okay. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but hey, neither did the original, so we're good. I'm just standing because our back hurts, by the way. That's the Royal R. Snap, craggle, and bop. Okay. We got one leg down. Don't really feel like doing this other thing on it. I think the chains will be a lot of work for both. Maybe do this thing. So that'll be on the left one, which would be the farther one. So let's pick a color. Hold on. That doesn't make any sense, so we can't do that. Let's move it up. I think we have to make it smaller and move it up. Okay. Let's just take that. Did that not work? Okay, it did. How did I end up on a different color though? That's a good question, isn't it? There we go. That's better. I must have pressed that instead of like switch tool or something. Twitch stool. How do they have theirs done? Okay. All right. Let's maybe go one more over for that. Okay. Take. Oh, wrong one. Guess it once again didn't really roll over well. Okay. So let's try and mix this so that it's not so unrefined feeling. And that made it worse, I think. So that's nice. Made it much worse, really. Substantially worse. Not ideal. Okay. What? What just happened? Why does it do that, man? It's so fucking, like, confusing. Okay. Think the chain would be on the other side, so we're fine not having that. Let's try and maybe put in some sort of detailing on the claws. I don't really know what that would be, but I am just not happy with how it looks right now, so I need to find something. I'm gonna just take like a color and hope. One second. Stop our back from hurting. Got that sciatica. You know what I'm saying? So fucking hot in here. It's crazy. That. Sorry. 1 second. Oh, there goes my flashlight. Ugh. Let's stand in our chair. I'm sure this is safe. Oh, it's like peeling paint. Got that landlord special going on where they painted over masking tape. They're real fucking geniuses, let me tell you. Didn't just do a backflip or nothing, by the way. Alright. Okay. Sure. Alright. What? There we go. What if I switch to this? Will this do anything for us? I feel like the fingies are too thick. Is that not detail? That shade deets? It is. Okay. Come on. Can I have my pen back, please? Okay. Right? I'm just trying to create some sort of like texture to the hand so that it stops feeling quite so flat and like kind of goofy. Doesn't really feel like it's working though, is the problem. Feel like this is helping, but like not nearly as much as I need it to. All right. I don't know. It feels like it's something, but it doesn't feel like it's good. I don't know how else to explain it. Like it's almost something. It's almost there, but like I'm missing the point, but like I don't know how to get there. Nope. What I do maybe want is a lefty real quick. No. Okay. What if we just take like this and like hit behind that? Alright, no, that's not the right one. What can I like just steal? Hello? There we go. There we go. That'll have to do. God, there's so many fucking colors here, dude. Okay. I don't know why the dropper or the selector tool isn't just readily available. Who decided that, you know? Okay. Try and get this merged. Might be a mistake because I feel like it is, but I don't know, it kind of feels like it also just needs to happen somehow. I think the problem is it's too sharp compared to some of the things around it, so it really stands out, but I want it to blend. Yeah, I'm not really fucking with it, but I don't really think I can do anything about it at this point. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit that. Let's go back a couple swipes here. Let's go back to shade. And then let's maybe reduce opacity to do this. Okay. Let's go ahead and increase the size of this a little bit, maybe. There we go. That is kind of helping. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay, so now I should be able to just kind of come through like this and blend that fairly well. Okay. There's more chains we could add. There's like her belly button ring we could add. I kind of wanted to do the belt, but like that's just so much fucking chain. I don't know if I have the mental capacity to do that. So what I'm going to do, I want to work on these feathers in the back real quick. I think we're like getting close here, but these still feel super awkward to me. So I'm thinking I believe these are part of DEET. I'm thinking we try and do the same strat where we do some cut-ins, right? And then just pray that we can make this work. Maybe something smaller than that though. So maybe like okay, that's the exact same size. Maybe that. Maybe that. I feel like I need it to be smaller than it's coming out, but I just can't get it that way. You know what? That's not gonna work because if I change the background color, all right, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. We have to erase. I was gonna change it to white, so and then just say there we go, but that doesn't work because well, what if I don't leave the background color white, which was kind of actually the plan in general to change it, so can't do that. What if we stay like a consistent break in the center for the most part? And like the occasional break somewhere else. We'll leave some of them. Okay. It's too deep for a lot of these. I don't think this is the right look, but we're just gonna see. Now what if I? Oh, that's like a blur. Uh, I want to like blur it, but like blend it, blur it, not blur it, blur it. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is wrong. This is wrong. We gotta undo like all of that. That's weird. I feel like the monitor, my drawing pad was just shaking. I don't think I've ever seen that. All right. It kind of looks better from afar, but I feel like it looks really bad up close. So maybe we take this and do some sort of feathering attempt. Just like pick a fucking color from here and just send it maybe. Something like medium bright. What is happening? I feel like it's like weirdly not working. It feels like it's working like a pen instead of like a gel pen. Anybody remember gel pens? Do they still make those? This does not feel like the way it was working before. It's not ideal. Is it the color? It might be the color choice. Hold on. Maybe I just need something a little darker. I think it might have been the spacing. It was kind of making it like blurred. We want well-defined lines. It's interesting how much it feels like it helped the tail compared to how much it didn't really feel like it helped the rest. Do you know what I mean? I feel like zoomed out, the tail actually looks substantially better now. I think the problem with the way I've done some of the feathering is it just feels like a drawing of a feather, you know? Which then kind of in turn feels a little bit like seaweed. But at the end of the day, the key word there isn't even feather or seaweed. It's that it feels like a drawing, right? When I break the lines, right? Drawing inside these lines the way I have, it gives it form and it gives it a good feeling, but it doesn't feel right. And that's because I've like stayed inside those lines. But like when what I did with the hands there and then like breaking those, when I break the lines that were containing it and then maybe draw something that goes from inside the lines to outside, then it starts to feel a little more 3D. I don't know what the hell's going on up there. Um, Feels a little more 3D and like it breaks the like trapped 2D drawing feeling and feels a little more real to me anyway. I think that and like the blending are like the main things I've found for me that visually break something from being a 2D drawing to giving it more of a dimension, right? Like the shading where you can kind of put some curve in it and then like follow a line to really make it feel like a fold, or like I said, breaking out of it and like drawing up and over the edge so that you're like with the collar here where it feels no longer like it's confined to the rest of the drawing and it gives it more of a 3D feel. Those are the things that for me are helping to break the illusion, if you will, of it being very 2D. Actually, you know what? I feel like the feet are kind of good. Like especially right here feels pretty 3D from afar. Okay. Right? It breaks that like, oh, this is just a drawing feeling a little bit. I know this is a pretty cartoony looking character here, but to me it breaks that feeling a bit. All right, let's go ahead and do background color. PGC. Before we forget. So she's got like this gradient thing and then like a layer. I don't know that we're doing all that. I'm thinking we could do a gradient behind. I don't like that. I don't like that. Can I pick the gradient colors? No. I know that's like a design. That's not really what I want though. There are different types of these. So bilinear, radial. I don't think we're gonna want radial unless we do it like really big. And we can kind of trick it. Squaw. That's kind of crazy how that lined up and almost made it feel like I cut it in half. That actually isn't half bad. Hold on. So if I go corner to corner with that, and then we'll choose maybe this color, and we'll go corner to corner with that. That's not too bad. I will say it kind of blends a little bit over here. That's good in that it hides maybe imperfections. It's bad that I think some of these like tail feather colors are really blending. So we're going to have to change the color that this is. What if we pick this? I think this is going to have a similar problem with the back triangles. So hopefully it doesn't meet it, and it doesn't look like it did. So yeah, this might actually work. This might be the gradient. She's just fucking out here, man. Okay. So we're gonna stick with this, but hold on. I'm gonna try and get this like as close to perfect as I can. And then here's that one. It's interesting that this feels like it overpowers the dark. Uh-oh. Okay, get it out of here, dude. It feels like it overpowers the dark. But, I don't know. This is probably fine, right? Although, some of the feather color is pretty close to that. I think it should be okay. But on feathers, let's work on the feathers a little more. Let's clear. Clear! Let's grab that. It's really hard to tell what I just grabbed here. Grab that. I think that also happens to be the color that this one is, so that kind of works. If I come in like a little, no, that doesn't really work. Thinking maybe a break like here could work. Okay, so that was the wrong one. Which means that we need you here. All right. I think we can maybe... Come on. What is this? Is this her pubes? I just realized this is going under her... Whatever this is. Boy shorts. Which I thought boy shorts or whatever were a type of... Whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't know. We're gonna send it, though. We're gonna try. Okay. 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 Damn, she gotta lose some weight, bro. This is fucking crazy. I'm gonna have to do some real goddamn work to make this decent. Honestly, I don't think this is gonna look good no matter what I do at this point. It's just too much. Yeah, hold on. We gotta undo like a lot of this. I feel like it was looking too weird. God damn, we gotta go like all the way back to like right here. Well, this is so much. I don't think I can make this look good, to be honest with you. Which I'm always honest, I'm not sure why that's a phrase. Hold on, let's go back. Let's clear all of that. Okay, so let's just start and see how it's going to feel. No, this is just not gonna, it's not gonna turn out good. There's no point. I would have to make it excessively large. Should we do it? So it's gonna have to be something more along the lines of this. This is the only way I can get the detail necessary, I feel, to portray a reasonable looking chain. Because otherwise it's just going to kind of fucking look tiny and it's going to like blend together and just not have any real definition. And I don't think it's going to look good. Honestly, I don't think this is going to look good either. Come on. I was trying to curve it, but I feel like because I'm drawing a curve while I'm trying to go at a curve, I think I've just ended up like canceling it out and going pretty straight. So that's also going to be a pretty big problem here going forward. Okay. Let's try and draw through and through and through and through. Why does this just not look right, dude? Let me get this going. There we go. Feels a little better. Okay. Okay. So let's go back through and try to define this while we're here so that it doesn't feel super forgotten or anything. So ridiculously hot in here. It's crazy. Trying my best here to like keep it relatively shaped properly. I know I didn't end up keeping with any sort of pattern, but there's only so much I can do. It's a lot. Maybe I should have just done like 2 rings at a time instead of the whole thing and then going back through. I wonder what the temperature is. There's no way it's 70 degrees. What the fuck are you talking about? Maybe 70 underground. Just about 90. It feels like it. Jesus Christ. Do 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 do. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yippee. Oh, brother. This is a lot. I know it doesn't feel like I'm doing a lot, but it's like a lot. It's a lot of stuff I don't really want to do, and I don't think it's going to add anything, and I can't really tell until I do it. I think that's the problem. Like, I'm not really going to know the damage here, like how bad this is, until I'm done, and then I'll have spent 40 fucking minutes drawing it. I hate it. I already hate it. God damn it. Okay. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Wow. This shit's kinda ass. I did not think we would get all the way down here. I did not have faith. Jesus, dude. Alright, so let's go ahead and blend that. Okay. Doesn't really feel like much of a belt or chain, and it did end up way too straight. I wanted it to go more like that, but because what I was doing, I was like starting it like this, but then because I was drawing a thing, I kind of just corrected. So now it just kind of goes straight, and it looks kind of goofy. But it is what it is, I guess. All right, does she have like a belt buckle or something? Okay, it's this thing. Can I like make the side of this? give it like this little blue eye here. I don't fucking know, man. You can't even see it. Okay. All right. Let's take a second. Let's look at it. I should probably save before I have a terrible night or morning. Or, well, it would extend into night, to be fair. Okay. Is there anything here that still feels excessively flat? I'm thinking maybe this part of the tail right here. Maybe I can do something about that. I think all that work I did to reshape these feathers is undone by background color. Maybe I flip it so that light's here and dark's there. Maybe I just make it a flat, unrelated color. Is there anything here that's like kind of unrelated? This background color, maybe? It's like related adjacent because she used it. It's more of a lavender. We'll just call it BGC2. So what if we just make it like flat that? See, now that's really close to this. We could do some tests. What if we do like a spiral, but like spiral? Like we want to get rid of the spiral. Okay. That's not too bad. Not really sure what this shape is supposed to be. Hmm. So what if I do that? I don't see much of a difference. What does dither do? Reverse. Okay, so it's dark and then gets light. Okay, what if I do this and then turn off reverse? Just not like you solid color. You know what? I think we'll leave it on that color because, oh my god, why did I do that? Am I stupid? All right, we're done with the background. What can I do right here to make this feel like something? Feels crazy flat. So what can we do? Get some shade. Let's grab her titty color here. Switch to this. Okay, so that is not visible. Okay, so this is on shade deet. Let's just do that real quick. And then we'll go under shade deet so that we don't interfere with, oh no, we can't though. We have to go above it. Can I increase opacity? No. If we grab that. Shoot. Okay. All right. So we got some of that going. Let's just come in, do a little mix job on most of this. And that should cover most of it for like a pretty good little blend. And that should cover like the fact that that's closer to being under her. Okay. It's a little better. I do feel like I still maybe need something here, but I don't know what or how or why or when or where or why or how or when. Let's maybe grab that lower opaque. Doesn't really feel quite right, but it feels like something. Maybe like blend it somehow. All right, let's take that. Let's scooch that back in. Let's try to blend this as well as we can. Okay. We're kind of getting somewhere. Feel like we maybe... we're going to rename this to Shade 2. Just like some extra details that we're going to work on here. So maybe something like this. So that I can kind of go in like this and like give some form so it feels a little less flat. Because it does feel really flat in like a lot of places here. Okay, so now let's take that and just kind of like blend it down a little bit so that it feels, again, not so much necessarily like it's shaded, but like that there's, I don't know, inclusions in the skin or something. It just feels too flat and one-dimensional. I need something to change that. I think it's actually kind of helping. Let's get in here real quick for some added bonus to that. Okay, come up. It's kind of crazy how much that actually changed some things. Not perfect, but it's definitely coming through. Okay. You know what? We can actually just increase the size because there's really nothing for me to ruin here. Because this is its own layer. Okay. Actually kind of coming along. It's kind of interesting how sometimes just adding like a color and just blending it in changes things so much. Because like the difference now is that color is blended to a different color, and so like the color next to it wouldn't be the same. I could like go through the whole thing and like pick up a different color in like almost every pixel. And that's fucking huge. I know that doesn't seem like it's doing a whole hell of a lot necessarily, but I feel like it is. Okay. I don't want this to be like super blunt, but I want it to like not feel as sharp as it does. Get blunt, zop. I'm actually like kind of liking it. Outside of like the fucked up limbs and like fingies, it's not so bad. It's almost okay. I'm just gonna quickly do this and then like quickly do that. Once again, it's just kind of like make it so every single color in this area isn't like identical to the colors next to it. And we blend it enough so that you can't really see a start to that. Okay, we need something similar for like the body here. This should have something here because that is technically like a little bit of a thing, I think. Okay, and then I should just be able to do this. That should blend it relatively well. Let's back off of that a little bit. I don't really want to go too much into the blue if I can avoid it. Okay. Do, 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 do. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's feeling not too bad right now. Almost feels decent. Like someone else drew it, you know? Okay, so we have that like little rosy cheek look going on. I feel like it just got lost a little though, so let's try and add some of that back. Maybe a little bit up there. We should be okay with that. Okay, switch back to this. Kind of like get in here maybe a little bit, get in there maybe a little bit. And then I should be able to blend that so that you can't really even tell I just did that. Yippee. And it shouldn't fuck with anything else really. Can we go to backlines real quick? I feel like this one is feeling extra sharp and I just need it to like relax a little bit, you know? Am I on the... I didn't switch. Okay. Like, the transitions felt super sharp. And it just felt out of place compared to everything else. Alright. Let's take a second. Let's go over it. I feel like I could just keep adding, like, shading and lines, and sure, it would look better. But, like, not to any degree that I feel like I want to do it. I think we're good enough. I think if I really needed to change something, it would probably be these two hands, but I feel like I've spent enough time on this, and I'd like to move on. So we'll try and figure out what bro wanted. I'm thinking I might just draw them in a different style from their reference. But I think we're going to move on from the Raptor. So thanks for coming along on the Raptor journey. I do think we really made the tail feathers look a lot better. These didn't really end up that much different, sadly. But it feels different. Feels better. I think honestly the hands are the worst. The chains are the next worst. They just didn't really like the chains and the collars didn't come out the way I was hoping. I do like that I kind of developed a better technique for feathers. I don't really know that that's going to come in handy very often, but it is what it is. I think if I plan for it in the future, I can probably do them better. I think we got a pretty decent shape for the head. Maybe the bottom jaw could have been thinner, but also I think it's good enough. I kind of like it. Leg shape is not great on the thigh. It's almost like it's double jointed. I went too close to the cartoony one and then like backed out and went a little more realistic shaped, and so it didn't mesh that well. It's kind of what happened with the hands as well. Like the proportions are all messed up because of that. But I think overall it's pretty decent. I don't know if it reflects the amount of time I put into it, but I did my best, and I think it's probably in many ways better than the Carno. I still feel like the Ishtola things are best so far, but we'll see what we can do. But yeah, for our friend Atlas, we will. I think I'm gonna just draw like a different style. I don't know. I wanted to maybe do an owl, but I don't know what they really wanted. I think because I was looking at the reference sheet for someone, they thought that's what I was doing, and maybe that's what they're thinking they'll get, like a drawing of a person. So I'll probably do that, and just like I'll find hopefully some decent references, and like maybe just draw them in like that pose or whatever. Like just change like colors and stuff so that hopefully I can get and like hairstyle and get that. But like it might just be basic anime pose, which I feel like I need to get back to. I feel like this is very freehand and free form, and it's like all of my lines are very like wobbly even when I'm not, I don't know, not necessarily trying to, but there's like no real straight lines on this compared to like anime person. So maybe we do something with more straight lines. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get off for the morning. Hopefully I can figure out what we're gonna do by tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the Raptor journey. I did. We'll probably draw more YouTubers or whoever as dinosaurs in the future, but we're gonna also draw like a couple of, probably after we draw our boy, probably more anime girls because I have a problem. Anyway, thank you, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye.